Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Uchiha Juubi v2 and got harem? Part 2. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so without wasting any time let's get into the video. Nami Forest. Battles were underway to protect one old man. Gensuke blocked a strike by his brother's fang-like blade. Inuyasha then parried Gensuke's strike and struck with his claws, Sankin. Tesso. He slashed Gensuke across the back with his claws, leaving a yellow energy trail behind his strike. Gensuke groaned, "Ugh. I hate it when you use that Iniki." The younger Inugami then teleported away from his brother. Inuyasha grinned, "Hide and seek Itaudo." He then chased after him. But Sakura and Hikari. Sakura raised her arms, and Senbonzakura covered her in defense as Haku rained down Senbon on them. Sakura only knows the first second release, she can't use the other three yet. Hikari formed a firewall. But some of the Senbon actually managed to get through the two girls' defenses and strike them. With Kushina and Kakashi. Zabuza blocked a kunai strike from Kakashi and used Kubikiri HMCHM to block a strike from Kushina's blade. The three then continued their blade battle. Zabuza then disappeared and reappeared on the water, Kurigakure no Jutsu. A blinding mist soon appeared. But Kushina used her bloodline to deflect it. She waved her hand and the mist faded. Zabuza gasped, "Damn, I forgot about your Mizumigami, it allows you to manipulate water in any form." Kushina smirked, "You got that right, Zabuza." She then had her hands in one seal, water release. Water dragon bullet technique. A massive dragon of water came up and attacked Zabuza. The former Anbu barely managed to avoid the attack. But Naruto leapt back as the demon fox in front of him fired a fireball at him out of his hand. Naruto was so scared that he forgot that he could use his Sharingan to suppress Kyuubi's powers. Io sighed, "Is this all my sister's Jinchuriki is capable of? Pitiful." He then rushed again at Naruto, and then Squelchy got him. In the stomach with his arm. Right above the seal. Naruto coughed up blood, and "No, I won't die." He then fell to the ground. Benihim cried out, "Naruto-kun." Io sighed again, "I am sorry I had to kill your vessel Amato." With Kushina and Kakashi. Kushina then suddenly felt a deep pain in her heart and stopped her assault, Naru-chan. Kushina placed one hand to her ample chest, "What happened, Sachi? Why can't I feel you anymore?" The distraction was enough for Zabuza to kick her, sending her flying. Kakashi was about to attack until Zabuza created a water clone and it used water prison to trap Kakashi in a sphere of water. Then Zabuza finished Kakashi with water release. Great waterfall technique to send the former Anbu through the forest. Zabuza then turned to face Kushina and he charged the distracted Kunoichi. But Sakura and Hikari. Haku spoke, "Please don't blame me, I fight for my father's dream." She then entered her mirrors and soon seemed to multiply before drawing several Senbon. Soon Sakura and Hikari found themselves covered in Senbon. Sakura's chakra was exhausted, so her Kekkei Genkai had to deactivate to rest. The two girls then collapsed. But then Haku was shocked as two others replaced them. The Haku activated her Sharingan. Sasuke said that the Uchiha heir couldn't activate his own. So he would use Kahaku as a shield. The Haku went through hand seals, fire release. Grand fireball technique. She breathed a powerful fireball at Haku. But the fireball did nothing to melt the mirror. Sasuke was surprised, "It seems that fire won't melt this ice." With Kitsuke. Inuyasha spoke, "Sorry Itaudo K's no Kizu." He then slammed his sword down and yellow Yauki shot from the sword and slammed into Gensuke, sending the younger full Inugami into a tree. Gensuke was unconscious. Inuyasha turned to leave, not knowing of the massive aura bending to emit from his younger brother. But when he did, he didn't know it's coming from his younger brother. Soon Zabuza and the others regrouped except Inuyasha and Haku. Zabuza spoke, "Well, what did you think, Murata-sama? Have they passed?" Soon a woman wearing a black cloak with red clouds on it with long spiky black hair appeared in a swirl. Her hair covered her left eye, but her right eye was red with a strange spoke-like pattern in it, her eternal Manjikyu Sharingan. Murata spoke, "I think you were too rough on my Musume Zabuza and Kyuu, you were too hard on my Megami Suko." Io apologized, "I'm sorry Murata-sama, I fear I may have killed him." Murata shook her head, "No Kyuu-kun, he's alive and your sister will heal him, I have a good feeling they will pass." Io gulped, knowing just how angry Benihim would be, "I fear that I can't beat her, I may be her older brother, but she is the Kyuubi after all, while I'm just an Anabi, 7 tails." He then went back to see. Zabuza went back to see about Kushina. Within the seal. Benihim was crying as she gazed down at her near-death Jinchuriki, "Naruto-kun. I'm so sorry. But I promise I'll make my brother pay." She then sent her crimson chakra at him and it covered him like a blanket, healing his wounds and changing him. Now Benihim is in control. Outside. Naruto's body began to steam, and then he slowly stood up like a zombie. Naruto's blue eyes were now red and slitted, his teeth and nails sharpened. The whisker marks on his face grew bigger and more feral looking. Soon red chakra was now emitting from his body like a firestorm. Naruto had a vicious snarl on his face, bearing long fangs. The chakra then condensed into a three-tailed fox cloak. His nails were now curved claws, his mouth and eyes now had black outlines around them. His eyes more resembled Benihem's eyes in her demon fox form. Naruto then threw back his head and unleashed a massive roar, Graya. He then sent massive shockwaves of chakra out of his entire body. But Inuyasha. Everyone heard the massive roar and felt the massive shockwaves. Inuyasha was shocked, what the hell? This demonic aura. He turned to see his younger brother engulfed in crimson energy, what the? Suki too was changing, his hair was darkening and lengthening, his fangs were growing into full battle length. His eyes flashed an evil crimson as his demon heritage fully took possession of him. Suki then slowly stood up, a wicked fanged grin on his face, his eyes completely blood red with no pupils, his claws now were pitched back, magenta stripes appeared on his face, behind him, 6 tails flowed, his hair now went down to the ground, each strand blew in the winds created by his aura. His shirt was gone, burned off by his demonic aura to reveal a muscular chest with the same stripes that were on his face right now. His aura was powerful, easily surpassing Benihem's. Inuyasha could barely move. Inuyasha spoke 2 words, oh crap. Suki then charged at his brother on all fours, with his long fangs gleaming. Let's play tag a Nikki. I'm it. He tackled his brother through several trees with speed rivaling that of their elder brother Sesshomaru. But Kushina stood up painfully to sense this massive power, this chakra Naru-chan. Kushina then used her bloodline to heal herself. I must stop Zabuza. Kushina used her teleportation ability to phase right in front of the shocked Zabuza and then used her Mizumigami to freeze him in place. Kushina delivered a powerful super strong kick to Zabuza, sending the demon of the mist sailing into the water. Kushina next went through hand seals, water prison technique. She then raised her hands and a sphere of water trapped Zabuza. Zabuza thought they'd definitely pass Murata-sama. But Sanbi Naruto charged on all fours at Kaiu, who barely avoided a slash. When Naruto struck a tree, it and several other trees behind were felled by the attack. Kaiu then charged at Naruto from behind. But Sanbi Naruto saw him easily. Naruto roared, "Roar," and sent Kaiu sailing through the trees. Just that roar destroyed a third of the forest. A sphere surrounded Naruto. Naruto snarled and shot an arm of chakra and took after his prey. Kaiu then landed at the feet of the disgust Kurana. Kaiu spoke in total shock, this much power and he's only at Sanbi's stage. Kurana shook her head, my Itado, you've managed to upset Amado again, haven't you? She then helped him up. Kaiu was shocked, Ni-san. Kurana then disappeared. As Sanbi Naruto came crashing through with an arm of chakra. Kaiu avoided a strike from the first chakra arm. But Naruto had a fox smirk and created another arm to strike Kaiu from behind. Kaiu groaned as the arm struck him on the back. Naruto then grabbed him with 2 other arms of chakra and then delivered multiple slashes. Kaiu then fell to one knee bleeding, he then looked up and spoke, you pass Amado. His wounds healed. Benihem's voice was heard coming from Naruto's mouth, pass. What do you mean, Ni-san? Benihem was in total control of Naruto's body for now while she was healing him. Kaiu smiled, I'll explain later, Amado. He soon vanished in a swirl of fire. Benihem scratched Naruto's head with one clawed finger, being careful not to accidentally cause him another wound. The 9-tailed vixen was confused about all this. Benihem then sensed her love's power, Gensuki-kun. She then asked Naruto, Naruto-kun, do you want your body back now? He responded, not yet, Ni-chan, let's find out what they're talking about first. The vixen nods before disappearing in a burst of speed. But Gensuki managed to send his brother sailing, but Inuyasha recovered. Gensuki then returned to normal, confused, what happened? When he snaps from berserk mode and returns to normal, he never remembers what he did. Inuyasha smiled, you pass Itado. He then sheathed Tetsuseiga, you will be to help us when the time is right, little bro. Gensuki was confused, help you? But aren't you and Zabuza working for Gato and Ikki? Inuyasha blinked before he cracked up, are you kidding? We wouldn't work for that fat team if he was the richest guy in the world. Soon a Sanbi stage Naruto appeared in a crouching position on all fours, 3 giant ethereal tails swished back and forth. Gensuki sensed him, that Uchiha-chan. I see you've taken possession of Naruto for now. The cube-fied Naruto nodded, yes Gensuki-kun, I needed to take control so my power can heal Naruto-kun properly. Gensuki spoke, so you're confused about our opponent's motives too. It is rather strange what my brother wants here. Inuyasha waved to him, see you later Itado. He then ran off. But Kahaku and Sasuke. They managed to avoid the Senbon storm. Haku is running low on chakra. So she dispelled her ice mirrors and then disappeared in a wind shunshin. The Haku breathed and deactivated her Sharingan. Sasuke smirked, having activated his own Sharingan, but he too was tired. The Haku soon picks up Sasuke and headed for the others. With Kushina. Zabuza was released from the water prison. Kushina spoke, "Now talk, why are you working for Gato?" Zabuza chuckled, "That's just it, Kushina, we're working for someone else." He then vanished in a water shunshin. Kushina was confused about this whole mess. But she shrugged and then shunshined to the others. Later. The whole teams met up again. Kakashi was knocked out from the water jutsu assault. Sakura and Hikari are just suffering a bit of chakra exhaustion, as are Naruto and Ginsuke. But Naruto is recovering because Beniham is replenishing his chakra levels back to normal. Kushina, when she got to her son, instantly hugged him and checked him for any injuries. She then collapsed from exhaustion on the ground, but Naruto created 2 Kage Bushin to carry Sakura and Hikari while he carried his mother himself. Kushina snuggled into her son's chest as he carried her, "Naru-chan." Sasuke eyed Kushina, "Even if she's the dope's mother, I will have her." Hitsuke turned to Tazuna, "Now shall we continue to your home?" Tazuna nods, "Right this way." He led them up to the dock that his home lied on. A few hours later. Kakashi and Kushina were put in separate beds in separate rooms, but when Naruto tried to leave his mother, Kushina refused to allow her Sachi to leave her. The red-haired woman had a very powerful death grip on her son. Kushina begged her son, her violet eyes gazing at him with hope, "No, please don't leave me, Naru-chan." She then hugged her son, not wanting to lose his warmth, "Stay with me please." Naruto sighed, "Okay, Ka-chan." Kushina had a look on contentment on her face as she slept with her son next to her. Naruto blushed as he looked at his mother, "Ka-chan really is beautiful." The Izumkai then shook it off, "What am I thinking? This is my mother for Kami's sake." Kushina then wrapped her arms tighter around her son and muttered in her sleep, "Naru-chan." She snuggled against him. Naruto blushed more, but he too nodded off, and the mother and child slept in each other's arms. This is the scene that Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter, came upon a few minutes later. Tsunami had heard from her father that these two were mother and son, yet the mother loved her son much deeper than most other mothers should. Tsunami even noticed that Kushina was half naked. Tsunami yelled, "What is going here?" Kushina woke up and looked at the civilian woman, annoyed, "What? Naru-chan and I are just sleeping together." Tsunami yelled again, "That's just it. You're sleeping with him half naked." Kushina ignored the woman. Tsunami steamed at being ignored and stormed up to the red-haired Kunoichi, "It's wrong, you're his mother for Kami's sake." Kushina spoke coldly, "What business is it of a civilian to judge what a Kunoichi does with her child?" The red-haired woman then turned away from the civilian woman, wrapped her arms around Naruto again, and went back to sleep. Tsunami threw up her arms in frustration, "Ugh. Whatever, come down when dinner's ready." The civilian woman then walked down the stairs muttering something like, "Kunoichi are weird. And thank Kami I never became a ninja." Hours later. Kushina came down with Naruto in tow. Sasuke ogled at the beautiful Uzumaki matriarch. Ginsuke and the others were already at the table. Ginsuke had brought supplies along in a scroll, enough for everyone in Nami no Kuni. Soon everyone started eating. The food was delicious. Tazuna was quite happy to have so many guests in his home. Kakashi had to eat with one arm since he was on crutches. Sasuke and Naruto had an eating contest and ended up throwing up. Ginsuke was laughing, amused by the whole thing. Kushina of course scolded her son. Haku, Sakura and Hikari were discussing girl stuff. Sai was painting something. Ginsuke was concerned about Tsunami's son Inari. The boy made Sasuke's attitude look nice. "I'm going to talk to him." Ginsuke thanked Tsunami for the food and went to find the boy. Tsunami, hoping someone could finally bring her son out of his shell, told him that Inari was either on the dock or in his room. Ginsuke went upstairs and sure enough there was the boy in his room. He was holding a picture of someone and crying while muttering, "Tusan, Tusan." Ginsuke thought poor kid, he must have lost his father when he was very young. The Inugami prince decided not to barge in there right now and went back down. The kid's bottling up his feelings and crying in secret, "That's not healthy for you." The others were shocked. Tsunami looked sad, Inari. Then Sakura noticed a picture of the family when they were much happier, except it seemed there was a face missing from the picture. Ginsuke noted the missing picture and suddenly realized, "I know that man in the picture is his father, isn't he?" Tazuna and his daughter stiffened. Tsunami spoke, "Yes." Tazuna spoke, "Tsunami, why don't you check on Inari?" Tsunami realizes what her father is doing and nods, going upstairs to check on her son. "So what happened?" Ginsuke asked. "Are you sure you want to know?" The whole group nods. "Alright." Tazuna then explained to them the whole story of Kaiza, a man who wasn't Inari's real father, but he acted like one. The man was brave and strong. He even became Nami's greatest hero. But then Gato caught him and had him executed right in front of them. That day changed everyone. Sakura, Hikari, and Kahaku were all crying, and even Kushina was sobbing. She knew what it meant to lose someone you love. Benham was human form inside the seal, and she too, a demon fox, was sobbing. This story had to be heartfelt if it could make even the Kyuubi cry. Gensuke clenched his fists at the injustices done to these poor people by just this one man. Gensuke growled, "I swear I will find this Gato and rip him apart." Gato's base. As Abusa was resting, he had a long hard fight with Kushina, but it was enjoyable. Inuyasha had his arms crossed as he too rested. Gato meanwhile then went up to the hidden room and spoke, "Juubi-sama, 2 days from now you will be released to have your fun." The giant fox spoke, "Very well, just remember I will not kill any humans unless absolutely necessary." Gato nods. 2 days later. Izuna's place. Kushina, Kakashi, and Gensuke had trained their teams for their next hard mission. They taught them the tree climbing exercise. The girls got it down first, but the boys managed to get it down as well. Now they are all eating again. Tsunami had learned from Kushina just what her son Naruto suffered from. Tsunami couldn't believe the fact that sweet boy had a demon sealed within him and by his own father. That was just cruel. Tsunami offered her fellow widow her sympathies. Inari then snapped, "I can't take it anymore." The boy let out all the feelings he was hiding. Everyone gaped at his temper tantrum. Even Tsunami wasn't expecting her son to explode like this. Inari yelled, "Why are you all trying so hard? Gato is going to kill you." Naruto spoke, "Shut up, kid, I won't let Gato kill me or my precious people." Inari continued his tirade, "Shut up. Who wants to be like you? You probably live a very happy life with your mother. While we suffer. You don't know the meaning of the word suffering." Ooh, he shouldn't have said that. Tsunami looked down in shame of her son's actions. Those words struck a chord in Naruto. The blonde then had his head down, his long hair shadowing his eyes, and his fists clenched. Then black chakra started to emit from his body. When Naruto looked up, Inari nearly wet himself. The blonde's blue eyes were a bloody crimson with slitted pupils. Then his bangs lifted from his forehead and revealed a slit in his skin which opened to reveal a freaky third eye. It was blood red with 9 tomo and 4 ripple-like patterns in it. The tomo were on the rings closest to the pupil. Naruto's nails and teeth sharpened and his hair grew more wild. The marks on his face darkened. Naruto spoke, "Tell me, brat, do people ever try to kill you behind your mother's back? Do they call you demon or freak or hellspawn? Tell me." Naruto's Juubi demon blood and power have awakened. Then his bangs covered his third eye again, his features returned to normal. Inari was stunned by his rebuttal. Kushina was shocked, for this was the first time she's heard, "Naru-chan, is that true?" She looked at him begging him to say it's a lie, but the look in his eyes proved that it was indeed true. The Uzumaki matriarch never wanted to be away from her son for too long. Yet lately the council has been trying to send her on A and S rank missions that would take nearly months or even years to complete, but being the daughter of the greatest Uchiha and the last heir to the Uzumaki clan until her children were born, Kushina completes them in just weeks. Naruto looked at his mother, "It's true, Ka-chan, though they don't try when you're around, when you're absent, they try to avenge their loved ones, and the Yondaime." Kushina then gave Inari the coldest glare ever. "Gaki, did your father, the man your mother loved, ever do something to you against her wishes?" Naruto then spoke, "Ka-chan, what do you mean? The one who sealed Ni-chan inside of me was no. It can't be." Kushina nodded, "It's true, Naru-chan, your father, my husband, and the one who cursed you was Namikaze Minato, the Yondaime Hokage." Naruto then spoke in a calm tone, "Ka-chan, Aniki, guys, I'll be back later." It's like the calm before the storm. The blonde then stormed out the door. Kakashi was stunned by her words. "Kushina-sama, you mean Naruto really is Sensei's son?" Kushina nodded to him, "Yes, but I no longer care about that man. He deserves to rot in the Shinigami's stomach for what he did to my baby. I warned him, but he didn't listen." Tsunami made a mental note to give her son a stern lecture. Sakura was confused. Sealed? Sealed what? Kahaku knew already. Being an Uchiha and living with Naruto, she explained to Sakura, hoping that Naruto would forgive her for this. When she was done, Sakura was on the ground crying for Naruto. The Haruno heiress was disgusted that his own father would do that to him. And after all the stories she heard about his greatness, they were covering his true nature. A selfish bastard who left his wife a widow and his youngest son a Jinchuriki. Sakura developed a severe dislike for Namikaze Minato. As for Inari, after his mother gave him a painful smack across the face, she gave him quite a talking to. But Naruto then felt complete and utter hatred that he never felt before. His father, the one who cursed him, who left him and Ka-chan alone in the world, was his hero, the Yondaime. No, make that ex-hero and father. That man was no father of his. Black chakra began to seep from Naruto's body. Naruto then threw his head back and roared in a demonic tone, "Damn you too, San. Why did I have to be the one? I hate you." His aura released a pulse felt all the way in High no Kuni. Naruto's aura then took on a massive manifested form, a massive creature appeared above Naruto, but it was in silhouette form, this creature was bigger than Beniham in her fox form. Its physical structure looked similar to her fox form, but it was covered in shadow and was a wolf rather than a fox, 10 tails swished behind the creature, and third eye on its forehead was the exact same eye Naruto had on his forehead. The creature then threw its head back and released a mighty roar which echoed across the lands, Rai ire. Naruto has become the new Juubi. His blonde hair had a few black bangs now. Konohagakure. Several people felt the massive hatred and kai that made even the Kyuubis feel like a child's. The civilians all nearly died of fright. In fact, a few elder civilians died of fright. Council chambers. The 3 elders were shaking from the oppressive power. Anzo thought, I told Sarutobi that boy should have been a weapon. Haruno compound. Sayori was doing the dishes when she felt the incredible power. The Haruno matriarch then smiled, well it seems Naruto-kun has awakened his demonic heritage. She then placed her dishes down and used a cherry blossom shunshin to appear outside. The Megakure. A man with spiky orange hair, ringed eyes, and facial piercings barely managed to keep his composure as the foul chakra created storms, his black cloak with red clouds fluttered in the winds created by the powerful aura. This man was Pain, formerly known as Nagato, the only known wielder of the Rinnegan, the Dojutsu only wielded before by the Rikido Sennin. It is said this Dojutsu was gained after the sage sealed the Juubi within himself, becoming the first Jinchuriki in history, then using a powerful technique only he could use to full potential. He sealed the Juubi's physical form and created the moon and split its chakra into the 9-tailed beasts. Beniham's father, the original Kyuubi, was born from the Juubi's chakra. Soon in a flash of red lightning, a woman with long spiky black hair and wearing the same cloak he was but altered a bit was in front of him. Nagato bowed, Murata-sama, what was that? Murata spoke, oh, my grandson just awakened his demonic heritage. You see, my son-in-law Namikaze Minato was actually a human descendant of the Juubi, yet he couldn't ever gain his demonic ancestor's power, it skipped him for some reason. But his son, my grandson Uzumaki Uchiha Naruto, has awakened it and has been crowned the new Juubi. Nagato was stunned, unbelievable. Murata nods, I know. I'm counting on you, Pain. Nagato bows, of course, Leader Sama. I'll make sure nothing stands in Naruto's way of greatness. He then disappeared. The Uchiha matriarch had her arms crossed under her ample figure as she thought about the past training with her little brother, meeting Hashirama, then his cruel betrayal as he tried to kill her for power. Then being healed in Uzushiagakure and meeting the Shodaime Yuzukage Uzumaki Kenshin, then falling for him and giving birth to Kushina. But unfortunately she had to send her away after her husband told her that Iwagakure was coming to Uzushiagakure to kill them. Murata never thought her daughter would end up in Konohagakure, her old village. Nami Forest. Naruto then collapsed from exhaustion as his demon chakra faded into his body. The blonde was now sleeping. Izuna's place. Ensuke found Inari in his room, hey kid. May I come in? I want to talk to you. He then shrugged and went in. Inari had his head down with his knees pressed against his chest in a ball. Ensuke then explained, Inari, everything Naruto said is true. The boy looked up in shock. The Inugami nodded, actually what Naruto told you is just a watered down version of what he suffers whenever Kushina isn't around. Inari then asked, how? How can he be so happy if he suffers so much? Ensuke sighed, well, the way I see it, Naruto doesn't let their words or actions get to him. I never once heard him cry for as long as I've known him. I met Naruto when he was 9, I think he got tired of crying and just decided to do something about it. The Inugami then reached out and patted Inari on the head, listen, I know that Naruto may have snapped. But it's only because he doesn't like seeing people give up so easily. Ensuke then stood up and turned to walk out, remember kid, there are heroes in this world, you just gotta know where to look. He walked out giving Inari much to think about. Next morning, Nami Forest. A beautiful young woman was out wearing a pink kimono and gathering herbs. Haku was gathering herbs for her father to speed up his recovery. She then noticed someone on the ground, it's him, the son of the Re-Death. He's young yet he feels so strong. He could become a threat to Tusan. Haku then walked up to the boy and was conflicted on what to do. She could snap his neck, one snap is all it would take. Not. So Haku then knelt down and reached out, but instead of breaking his neck, she simply shook his shoulder, hey, wake up. You'll catch a cold if you sleep here. Naruto woke up and looked into beautiful chocolate brown eyes, huh? He then got up, are you an angel? Haku blushed at his words, she then asked, what are you doing out in the forest? Naruto grinned, I'm training to become the strongest ninja I can be. Haku then spoke, I see, and is there any reason for you to gain such strength? Do you have someone precious to you? Naruto nodded, oh yeah, I have lots of precious people. He began to list them off. There's Ka-chan, my Ni-chans, Aniki, Oji-san, Tuchi Oji-san, Aim-chan, and Aruka-sensei. I'm training so I can protect them all. Haku nods. When a person trains to protect their precious people they become strong. She turned to leave but spoke, my name is Haku. Naruto smiled, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Haku nods again and leaves but spoke while walking, Naruto-kun you're going to become strong, real strong. Naruto smiled more. As Haku left she encountered Gensuke. As the two walked past each other, they both gave each other a cold look. Gensuke spoke, hey Naruto. Naruto turned to see him, hey Aniki. Gensuke thumbed backwards, Kushina sent me to find you. Naruto nodded, yeah I guess I did storm off and made Ka-chan worry didn't I? He rubbed the back of his head, okay Aniki let's get going. The two then went back to the house. Haku went back to the hideout to fix some medicine for her father. Izuna's house. They got back and Kushina glumped her son to her. She cried, Naru-chan. Where did you go last night? I was so worried. Kushina hugged her son's head to her well-endowed breasts, making his head go in between them, suffocating Naruto. Ka-chan. I can't breathe. Naruto's muffled cries rang out. Gensuke chuckled while watching this. Ito's hideout. Ayu walked down the hall and made it to the room where his father was. The young demon lord then knelt down, to Sama. The fox lord spoke, yes my son tell me what happened to your younger sister Benahim. Ayu sighed, well to Sama after you and Ka-san died Amato attacked a village in Hai no Kuni called Konohagakure because of an illusion Ni-san put on her. The fox lord was listening. Ayu spoke, the ninja attempted to fight Amato off but as expected they couldn't even phase her. The fox lord chuckled, well I'm not surprised she is the new Kyuubi. Ayu spoke, but one of them used a forbidden technique to summon the Shinigami. The fox lord was stunned, what? Since when did Shiny-chan have a contract with Ninjin? Ayu shrugged, I don't know to Sama, but after she was summoned she sealed Amato within a boy. The fox lord was even more shocked, my little girl's sealed. Who did it? Ayu spoke, the lead ninja of Konohagakure also Amato left remnants of her chakra everywhere she attacked. I hear her vessel wasn't actually treated like he should have been. The fox lord was deep in thought. Then spoke to his son, thank you son I wish to meet her container. Ayu spoke, I'll take you to him. He then opened the gate with ease. The powerful fox lord then exited the gate. The fox lord shrunk into his human form, let us go my son, we have a rogue family member to deal with. Ayu nods, right to Sama. The two then disappeared. Next day. Teams 7 and 11 shoved off to the bridge but left Naruto behind. Kushina stopped to speak with Tsunami before joining the others, I don't want to leave my Sachi, but he's been training so hard and I don't want him to push himself so far. The red-haired Kunoichi then gave Tsunami a stern glance, watch over my baby for me, Tsunami do not let anything happen to him. Tsunami nodded, right. In the forest. Hirana smirked as she hid, excellent he's alone and now all I need is a way to get him out here. She then turned into her fox form and snuck into the house. Inari was still thinking about the conversation he had with Gensuke last night. When he heard footsteps, he turned to see a horse-sized fox with red fur and 10 tails. Then the fox attacked him. It grabbed the poor screaming boy and ran out of the house. Tsunami came just in time to see the creature run off with her son. Tsunami screamed out, Inari. She then fell to her knees quivering with sorrow, my baby's gone. Naruto woke up hearing sobbing, He instantly got up and got dressed. When he went downstairs he was greeted by a crying Tsunami. When the civilian saw Naruto she instantly flung herself at him and hugged while crying. Naruto was shocked, Tsunami what's wrong? Tsunami spoke in between sobs, oh Naruto-kun. A large fox kidnapped my Inari. He's gone. Naruto was shocked, Nani? Benahim within Naruto growled as she smelled her sister's scent, One-san. She did this. Naruto spoke, don't worry Tsunami. I'll go get him back for you. But he wouldn't leave Tsunami unprotected, so he made a cross-hand seal, Kage Bushin no Jutsu. In a huge poof of smoke 1000 shadow clones appeared. Naruto commanded, protect Tsunami. The clones all saluted their creator yes sir. Half of the clones used henge to become normal items, while the other half all surrounded the house in a wall of human protection. Tsunami hugged Naruto tighter, thank you Naruto. Naruto smiled, no problem. The blonde then took off. Tsunami then went back in the house to wait for her sons and Naruto's safe return. Forest. Inari found himself tied up and the fox was gone, replaced by a gorgeous woman she wore civilian clothes, yet Inari got this creepy feeling just from being near her. Inari yelled, let me go. I won't do what your master says. The woman giggled, silly ninja. I serve no one but myself. Inari was shocked, what? You mean you aren't working for Gato? The woman laughed, of course not. You're just bait for the blonde gaki to come to me. But Naruto. Naruto felt deep rage toward the Juubi woman, that witch. She is going down. Naruto-kun, let me take over. I want to deal with her first so I can show you how to fight her. No, Nin-san, I want first crack at her. Naruto then felt black chakra surround his body in the way that Benihim's did. His skin began peeling back. Soon he had a black Yonbi cloak. It covered him completely, turning him into a miniature version of his ancestor. His third eye was fully open, his mouth was unturned in a jack-o'-lantern sneer, his nails were curved claws, his hair was a wild mane that was visible through the cloak, his normal two eyes were white. His demon shroud had became like his second skin mixed with his blood. Yonbi Naruto let out a frightening howl, Graya. He then grew out 2 more tails. For a grand total of 6. Chakra bones grew out of his cloak. Naruto skipped the Gobi stage and went straight into the Rakubi stage. Rakubi Naruto raced through the forest on all fours, heading for the area where he could smell his target. Kurana smirked as she felt the massive power heading her way. She spoke with a purr, looks like my target is coming. Inari felt a foreboding pressure, what's this? Soon Rakubi stage Naruto came crashing through the forest, Kurana. His voice was deep and frightening. Naruto looked frightening. He was basically a shadowy demon with 6 tails and a wolf-ox skeleton on him as armor, and his face was in a jack-o'-lantern smile. Kurana smirked at him, ah, excellent, you're in the Rakubi state. Naruto snarled, give Inari back now. Naruto then disappeared in a burst of speed. Kurana avoided a slash from his claws and delivered a kick. But she winced as his aura burned her foot. Ugh, she then noticed his third eye and gasped, no way he's got that eye. That means he's a descendant of Juubi-sama. Kurana then smirked and stripped herself of her human disguise for her more alluring true form. Her hair became ruby red, her eyes were crimson and slitted, her civilian clothes shimmered into a royal-looking red furisode kimono with sakura blossoms and fox designs. Her impressive figure filled out even more. Kurana then formed her own 6-tailed shroud and delivered another kick, this time connecting, sending Naruto flying. But Naruto managed to stop himself, ugh. Damn, she's strong. Kurana then disappeared in a red light and reappeared behind Naruto. The young Juubi turned only to get sent flying from a punch. Kurana watched as he was sent sailing by her punch. Kurana then raised her arm and shot a red chakra arm complete with claws and grabbed Naruto. She then brought him to her face. Kurana studied the boy, and she then smirked before using her own massive chakra to dispel his Rakubi shroud, returning him back to normal. Kurana then formed a sultry smirk on her face, you know you're pretty cute. Naruto was shocked that his tenant sister was flirting with him. He was stuttering gibberish. Benihim was appalled, leave him alone, Nin-san. Then the 10-tailed vixen did something no one would suspect. She kissed Naruto right on the lips, and very passionately too. Inari was blushing, I'm just a kid, so I shouldn't be watching this. Embarrassed, he turned away. Kurana then separated from Naruto. The blonde was speechless. Kurana purred, you can have the gaki back, Naruto-kun, I just wanted to test you real quickly. I also want to visit my dear Amato. She then lifted up Naruto's shirt, making the blonde turn bright red, then forced herself into the seal. Within the seal, Kurana was standing before Benihim's cage. Benihim roared angrily, Nin-san. Why are you here? Her fur was spiking on end from rage, her 9 tails were thrashing. Kurana smirked, why, I just want to visit my dear Amato. Is that so wrong? Benihim slammed her claws into the bars, damn it. If it wasn't for this seal you'd be dead, Nin-san. Soon Naruto was there, hey Nin-chan, why don't I just unseal you? Benihim was shocked, but you'll die if you do that, Naruto-kun. Naruto grinned, no, I want Nin-chan. He then revealed something, his bangs lifted from his forehead to reveal a slit which opened wide to reveal his Juubi eye. Benihim was stunned, Naruto-kun, your Juubi powers are awake. The new feminine voice spoke, that's right. His rage awakened them. Then footsteps were heard coming toward them. The 2 vixens and 1 Juubi male turned to see a gorgeous woman with long black hair and violet blue eyes. She wore a midnight-colored furisode kimono. Her body was slender and curvy, her breasts were larger than Tsunade's. She had no shoes on her elegant feet either. But what shocked them was the third eye on her forehead. It was exactly like Naruto's. Benihim muttered in shock, Juubi-sama. The woman smirked at Naruto, it's nice to meet a descendant of mine. The Juubi woman studied Naruto before a sultry grin appeared, and my young human descendant is quite handsome. Naruto blushed at Juubi and spoke, thank you. He then asked, Juubi-sama, do you have a different name? Juubi smiled softly, of course Naruto-kun, my name is Tsukiko. Naruto was shocked, how do you know my name? Tsukiko explained, I know all about you, this seal gives me access to your memories. She studied Benihama QB, the rank below my own. The demon queen asked, so Naruto-kun, what's with us wanting to release her? Benihim used 4 of her tails to point to Kurana, my sister here. Tsukiko looked at her, another Juubi, huh? Interesting. Piranha was shaking as she could feel the massive power rolling off the woman. Tsukiko walked up to Benihem's cage. So this is the seal, huh? The queen of the demons then began to lift up the paper when a hand grasped her own. The person looked like an older version of Naruto wearing a familiar Haori, Jonin vest, black pants, and sandals. Benihem's eyes narrowed with hate at the man. This man was the reason Naruto suffered. His father, the Yondaime Hokage. He sealed her without Kushina's consent. Benihem roared, Yondaime. Come here so I can rip you apart. She slammed her claws into the bars, relishing intense kai at the man. It took Minato every ounce of ninja training he had not to die from the sheer power of the kai, truly proving Benihem is more than worthy of her Kyuubi title. Naruto was shocked, "Two-san?" He then spoke while glaring, "Two-san, I need to know." Minato turned to face Naruto only to gasp as Naruto punched him in the gut, then Naruto began beating up Minato. He even made his blows demon chakra powered. Naruto was crying while doing it, "Why Two-san? Why did you have to choose me? Why did I have to suffer? Why didn't you tell me Ka-chan had been my predecessor as Ni-chan's container?" He punched his father, kicked him, and even formed his claws and slashed him. He cursed him and attacked him. Minato just allowed his son to beat him knowing he deserved it and more. He spoke truthfully, "I'm sorry Naruto, but your brother was already too old to contain Kyuubi, and I'm sorry that I never left something to explain about Kushina-chan being a Jinchuriki." Minato then explained, "If I had known that Kyuubi had been tricked by someone I would have found another way." He knew he had screwed up his son's life big time. He knew this was the only chance to make it up to him. Benihem yelled, "Hey. I am here, you know. I have a real name." Minato then placed 2 fingers to his son's forehead. "I leave you with a parting gift, my son. My 2 prize jutsu. The Rasengan and the one that made me famous in the 3rd Shinobi War. The Hiraishin no Jutsu." Minato implanted the knowledge on how to use them into Naruto's mind. Minato then felt himself fading. "Goodbye my son, I truly am sorry for what I did." The Yondaime then fully vanished permanently. Naruto scoffed as if he'd forgive him. Soon the seal was ripped off by Tsukiko. Naruto felt the worst pain in his life. The cage opened. Benihem instantly ran out. Outside. Naruto was motionless, but then he started screaming in pain. He grabbed his head and screamed. Inari was in shock while watching the blonde spasm. Then a red light flashed and Naruto was panting while on one knee. A gaping hole was in his stomach which was closing up quickly. Inari was shocked to see 3 other people with him, and they were all girls, no beautiful buxom women. 2 of them had long red hair and red eyes, they wore matching crimson furosode kimonos, and were both barefoot. The only difference was age and height. The other had long black hair and violet blue eyes. She wore a black furosode kimono. Benihem looked around happy to be outside again. Tsukiko took in the new sights, amazing, this world truly has changed. Piranha tried to sneak away. But Tsukiko noticed and shot a black chakra arm at her and brought her back. Benihem glared at her sister and started to attack her viciously. Piranha stood no chance against her younger sister's rage. Benihem then aimed her 9 tails down at Piranha, their tips gleamed like swords. "It's over, Ni-san." Tsukiko spoke, "Wait Benihem, I sense something is inside of her that may be the cause of her actions." The voice spoke, "You'd be right." A tall young man of about 20 appeared. He had mop-like spiky orange hair and auburn eyes. He wore an all-black kimono with a white sash over it was a white haori. On the young man's back was a massive cleaver sword wrapped in bandages. Naruto asked, "Who are you?" The man was shocked, You can see me?" Naruto snorted, "Yeah, I can see you, I'm looking right at you, aren't I?" The man introduced himself, "I'm Kurosaki Ichigo Taicho of 5th Squad." Ichigo explained, "A vast old lord by the name of Ranyaku escaped Wako Mundo 4 years ago. I've been tracking her down ever since, and I think she came here and possessed your friend there." Soon Piranha screamed as a purple aura surrounded her and changed her. She soon stood up, her eyes were a dark crimson, almost an eerie black, her ruby red hair was a platinum red, and her kimono changed a bit and her skin lightened. She now had a bloody scythe in her hands. "Soul Reaper, we meet again. You may have killed the Espada and the Rancor, but they were weak anyway. I will make sure you die." Ichigo smirked, "Try it, hollow." He drew his cleaver-like sword. Zangetsu is just itching to do some slicing. Piranha charged at Ichigo with her scythe raised, and the 2 of them clashed with Ichigo. Clearly being stronger, Ichigo easily dodged and parried the hollow strikes and delivered a few good ones right back. Ichigo spoke, "Is that it? Come on. I got a better workout from Rukia when she became her dark form." He grinned as he gave the control demon fox a gash in her side. Ichigo taunted, "Come on, make me go Bankai." Piranha growled and then formed a zero in her mouth and shot it out, but Ichigo deflected it with one hand. Ichigo sighed, "Oh well, I was hoping for some fun." He then raised Zangetsu, Jutsuga Tensho. He swung it and a wave of blue energy came out. Piranha screamed as the wave sent her into the forest. Naruto was shocked, "No way. He's strong." Naruto remembered in his brief fight with Kurana that he had trouble against her. Ichigo spoke, "Don't worry, I'm going to expel the hollow from her body." He took off after her. Meanwhile on the bridge. Team 7-11, Zabuza and his friends were fighting against a massive demon fox with 10 tails. It's like the Kyuubi attack all over again. The fox was standing on the bridge without the bridge crumbling. Tazuna thankfully makes a truly strong and sturdy bridge. Zabuza went through hand seals, water release. Water dragon bullet technique. A massive water dragon shot at the massive fox. But it did nothing to even damage the massive demon. Zabuza paled, oh crap. The fox then turned his clawed hand into a fist and punched Zabuza, sending the demon of the mist sailing. Zabuza hit the wall and groaned in pain. Inuyasha winced, ouch. That had to hurt. He leapt at the fox, eat this you blasted fox. The Inuhanyu raised his sword, Kei's no Kizu. He shot yellow energy at the beast. But to his shock the fox just swiped with his massive claws and a similar attack except Crimson, collided with the move and matched it head-on. Inuyasha was stunned, no. Way that attack is capable of felling 100 yokai and just one manages to match it. But Gensuke. Gensuke was racing to find Naruto. He had felt the power of Benihim's father. How was he revived? Byakuya-sama was dead. Yet now he lives again. But Naruto. The blonde was amazed while watching Ichigo easily dominate the fight. Ichigo then sighed, I think it's time to end this. He then pointed his sword frontward, Bankai. A blue flash enveloped the area. Soon Ichigo stood but in different clothes. His haori was covered by a tattered black cloak with red lining inside. Ichigo spoke, Tensa Zangetsu. The sword was no longer a giant cleaver, now it was a Daido blade with a Maji-shaped guard, and on the end of the hilt was a broken chain. Kurana shivered at the monster's pressure crushing her. Ichigo in the blink of an eye appeared in front of her, goodbye hollow. He then pressed the hilt of his sword against Kurana's forehead, and the hollow screamed as she was expelled from the fox demoness. Ichigo smirked and raised his sword and sliced down right through the vast Lord's mask. She screamed as she dissipated. Ichigo spoke, and that's all she wrote. He twirled Tensa Zangetsu with a chain before reverting back to normal. Ichigo then turned to leave, but Naruto said, wait. Ichigo stopped, yeah kid. The blonde boy ran up to him, will I get to train under you sometime? Ichigo looked shocked. In all the years since he had become a captain, no one wanted to train under him due to his recklessness and hot-headed nature. Ichigo chuckled and patted Naruto on the head, sure kid, I'll train you sometime. He then walked into a door that seemingly appeared out of nowhere and disappeared. Naruto watched with fascination, he's awesome. I can't wait to train under him. The three then turned to see Kurana on the ground. She had returned to normal. Benihim spoke, so that hollow made Nisan kill our family. The nine-tailed vixen clenched her fists. Tsukiko nods, it would appear so. Soon Naruto and the two women ran up to Kurana as the 10-tailed vixen woke up. She opened her eyes to see her sister, Naruto, and Tsukiko looking over her. Kurana then grabbed her head, ugh, I had the worst nightmare. I dreamed that something took control of me, made me kill my family and manipulate my Yamato into attacking a village of innocent ninja. Benihim then tackled her sister into a hug crying. Kurana gasped and realized it wasn't a nightmare, it really happened. She then hugged her sister, I'm so sorry Yamato. The two vixen siblings remained that way for a while. Then Kurana saw Naruto, and the process was repeated. Kurana cried, I'm so sorry Naruto-kun. If I hadn't let that thing control me, you never would have had to become a Jinchuriki. Naruto couldn't stand to see a woman cry, so he hugged her, I understand you weren't in control of your actions Kurana. Soon Gensuke arrived to see the shocking scene, and Benihim was free. Not that he wasn't happy, no, he was elated. The instant the nine tails spotted Gensuke, she tackled him into a hug, Gensuke-kun. She then explained to her maid everything. Gensuke was shocked, unreal, so hollows are now getting strong enough to possess us upper demons, huh? The Inugami asked, wait, the Shinigami that saved you was called Kurosaki Ichigo. They all nodded. That bastard. He owes me money from a bet we made. I bet him 3000 Ryo that he'd use Kisukirahara's training method to achieve Bankai, and look what happened, he used it. Gensuke yelled, pissed off. Benihim's sweat dropped knowing about her beloved's habit. Why did it remind her of a woman with blonde hair and brown eyes? Somewhere in Hai no Kuni, a few miles from Konohagakure. Achoo. Tsunade wiped her nose with a tissue. Shizune asked, Tsunade-sama. Tsunade spoke, don't worry Shizune, someone must be talking about me. She thought, I wonder if it's Gensuke-kun. Tsunade blushed faintly. Tsunade then saw their destination up ahead, there it is Shizune. Shizune asked, are you sure you're ready to face Konoha again Tsunade-sama? Tsunade nodded, yes, I want to see Gensuke-kun again. She and Shizune then continued their trek toward their old home. Back in Nami Forest. Gensuke covered his mouth with his elbow as he sneezed, achoo. Naruto looked to him, you know Aniki, when you sneeze it means someone must be talking about you somewhere. And Suki nodded, yeah. But then an oppressive power was felt by them all. Benahem was shocked, this power, it's too Sama. Kurana was shocked, no way, I thought that thing had made me kill him. And Suki spoke, someone or something must have revived him, let's get going. The others nodded, right. But Naruto said, wait Aniki, I need to get Inari back to Tsunami. And Suki spoke, just create some Kage Bushin. Naruto nodded and complied, Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Soon 10 Narutos were there. The Bushin took Inari back home. Kurana spoke, I'll give you a lift Naruto-kun. She turned into her fox form, she looked exactly like her sister, except with silver in her fur. The real Naruto got on and Kurana took off. And Suki smiled, hey Haim-chan, want to race? Benahem playfully smacked her beloved Ginsuki-kun. The two then morphed into their demon forms and took off together. Tsukiko sighed and shook her head, these younger demons. She morphed into her true form, I hope this male Juubi provides a challenge. She then ran after them. It made for quite a sight, a Juubi kitsune carrying a human running through the forest. The Kyuubi and a 6-tailed wolf dog fox fusion coming up close behind. And the most powerful demon of all. The original Juubi, right behind them. Bridge. Kushina avoided a swipe from the fox's clawed hands. She then placed her hands in a seal, Suiton. Suryutin no Jutsu. A massive water dragon twice the size of the one Zabuza used appeared and charged at the fox. The Fox King remained calm, he then opened his mouth and a blast of powerful flames shot out, the flames collided with the water dragon, creating a mighty mist. But Kushina used her bloodline to dispel it. The Fox Daikai spoke, impressive ninja, so you have gotten stronger since the old days. The great Fox Lord explained, I'm not obeying Gato, I just wanted to test your skills. The Fox Lord then sensed 4 massive powers heading this way, then 4 other demons appeared. One was another fox with 10 tails, but this one had red fur with silver in it. The second was easily recognizable. The Kyuubi no Yoko. Kakashi actually fainted at the sight of the familiar demon. The third one looked like a wolf, but they could see some fox traits in it too. It had 6 tails behind it. But the fourth demon truly looked frightening, it looked like a huge black wolf, and its red eyes resembled a Sharingan-Rinnegan fusion, but very scary. The demon matched the physical appearance of the Kyuubi, but its fur was jet black and it was a wolf rather than a fox. 10 tails were swishing behind the mighty beast. The Kyuubi stuttered at the sight of the male 10-tailed fox, Tusama. The Fox Lord smiled, Benahem-chan, it's good to see you again, Kurana-chan, I see you've returned to normal, don't worry, I forgive you my daughter, you weren't yourself. The 10-tailed vixen was surprised, Tusama. To the team's shock there was Naruto on the head of the 10-tailed female fox. Naruto grinned down at them, hey guys. I hope we're not late to the party. He then vanished in a black flash, shocking Kushina. Kushina was shocked, Naru-chan, that was the Hiraishin. Sasuke clenched his fists, how can that dope be so strong? Naruto reappeared in front of the Fox Lord. The Fox King studied Naruto, who are you boy? Naruto spoke, I am Uzumaki Naruto X Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, son of the Yondaime Hokage, and the Red Death of Konohagakure and heir to the Juubi. The Fox Daikai was stunned, so you are my daughter's former vessel. Naruto nodded, yes sir. He bowed respectively. Soon the 5 demons turned into human form. The Fox Daikai looked to be in his early 30s, except his long hair was silver mixed with crimson. He wore a male kimono with armor. His hair was tied in a ponytail. His eyes were golden and slitted, think Inu no Taisho, but as a fox spirit instead of dog. He then spoke, my true name Naruto is Byakuya. I thank you for keeping an eye on my daughter for me. The Fox Lord turned to Benahem and smiled, Benahem Kurana, I wish for you two to follow your hearts and go where you wish to go. Both happy vixens hugged their father, thank you Tusama. Byakuya chuckled and hugged his daughter's back, it's the least I can do my angels. Benahem went to Ginsuki and hugged him happily. Kurana went to Naruto. Kurana hugged Naruto to her, his head being pressed into her cleavage. Naruto blushed, K Kurana, what are you doing? Kurana quickly placed a finger to the blonde's lips. Kurana spoke, Chan, call me Kurana-chan, Naruto-kun. Oh okay, Naruto muffled out, unable to breathe. I can't breath. His arms flailed around comically. Kushina was really angry watching the demon vixen touch her son, grrrr, stop touching my Sachi, demon. Kushina was clenching her fists and her Sharingan was active and spinning Kahaku too. Sakura already had Senbonzakura released and ready to attack. Sasuke was jealous, why does that idiot get all the pretty girls? Soon they heard a mocking voice, my isn't this sweet? Everyone turned to see Gato. With over 1,000 thugs. Zabuza was healed by Haku and came over to the group. Gato chuckled, Zabuza, I'm cutting you from my peril, I can just hire someone else. Zabuza snorted, I expected as much from you, but I was never working for you in the first place. Beto chuckled more, Zabuza, have you forgotten? I have your wife. Zabuza chuckled back, no you don't, my true client saved her. Sure enough, a cold wind whipped up and a gorgeous woman with pale blue hair which was clipped on the left side and icy blue eyes appeared next to her husband. She was clad in a white furisode kimono. Everything about this woman reminded them of snow and ice. Haku inherited her mother's beauty but her father's hair and eye color. The woman is named Yukina. Her Kekkei Genkai is control over ice and snow called Kuryuki Shishai. Haku received a small version of her mother's bloodline. Hyotin, but that won't stop Yukina from loving her daughter. Yukina then raised one hand, dance. In her hand materialized a white beautiful blade with an equally beautiful ribbon on the hilt. Yukina spoke, Zabu-kun let us end his reign of terror. Zabuza smiled, I'm right with Yukina Haim. Zabuza turned his sword upside down, rankled the seas and heavens. Nejabana. He spun it around and it transformed into a fusion of a Chinese giant trident. Water flowed freely on each end. Kushina then drew her own sword, my turn now, stormed Mizurimaru. Her sword glowed and turned blue, it was a blue daido blade on the hilt was a material that flowed like a river and the guard was shaped like a drop of water. Ensuki said, hey let me in on this. He drew his own sword. Now face my sword's power. Roared Tinkin. He raised his arm and at the same time a giant iron arm appeared above him, holding a giant version of his sword. Aku wanted in on this too, so she drew a long blade, sit upon the frosted heavens Hyorin Meru. The sword changed and lengthened before a dragon made of frozen water formed and awaited Haku's command. Its crimson eyes bore into a frightened Gato's eyes. Beto yelled, attack. Bring me the girls though. The thugs stupidly charged at them. Aku then swung her sword and the dragon attacked the thugs, freeze-eyeing them. Ensuki crushed many thugs with his sword's first form, using the giant arm to crush them to a bloody paste. Yukina performed a dance-like movement and a circular slash, some no mai. Tsukishiro. A white circle appeared under 400 thugs and froze them. Zabuza then swiped with his blade and a blast of water washed the thugs away. Kushina lifted her sword and the water in the ocean suddenly lifted up and started swirling on her sword. She spoke, Yuzuram Yaku, whirlpool of chaos. She then slammed her sword down and a massive whirlpool twister shot at the thugs. It caught all the remaining thugs in one strike, leaving Gato alone. Beto whimpered, wait I can give you anything you want. Ensuki appeared in front of him and raised his arm, you're finished. The giant arm rose up with sword ready. Beto screamed, Nuu Gensuki crushed Gato with a giant arm, reducing him to a bloody squished corpse. Naruto grinned, that's all she wrote. He flashed over and found something in the corpse's pocket, a check for 1,000,000 ryo. The blonde then flashed to Tazuna and handed the check to him. Naruto smiled, here old man, this is for you. Tazuna read it and tears of joy flowed down his face, thank you Naruto. Soon Naruto's Kage Bushin all showed up and with them were Tsunami and Inari and all the citizens of Nami. Inari was so happy he had seen what Naruto did, they arrived just in time to see Naruto kill Gato. They were free. Tsunami was especially happy after she saw what her father showed her. The entire village was inspired to come by Inari, they all let out a loud roar of cheers for their new hero. 1 week later. Naruto and the others were getting ready to leave and head back to Konohagakure. Zabuza and his family were joining them. The bridge is at last fully finished, it looks awesome. Aku was hugging Naruto much to the ire of Kushina, Sakura, Kahaku, and Kurana. Sasuke was seething with jealousy. Inari and Naruto were having trouble saying goodbye. One teary farewell later. Tazuna watched as the ninja and demons left. The worker spoke, hey Tazuna, now that the bridge is done what should we can it? Tazuna thought for a minute, he then spoke, I got it. We'll call it the Great Naruto Bridge. Everyone enjoyed the name. 1 week later, Konohagakure. Zabuza, Yukina, and their daughter were now official members and ninja of Konohagakure. Naruto woke up, he got up, got dressed, and ran out of the estate ready to begin his next day of missions. He headed out. Ensuki joined him. Gensuki was made a jonin and the official second sensei of Team 7, however he managed to get permission to assist Naruto, Hikari, and Sakura in the upcoming exams. At the bridge. Naruto and Gensuki arrived. Sakura saw Naruto and glumped him, Naruto-kun. Naruto blushed, Sakura-chan. Kushina growled and clenched her fists, damn it. Sachi is mine. Hikari was eyeing Gensuki, Gensuki-kun looks ravishing in that jonin vest. The Niji heiress licked her lips. Kushina spoke, okay team, we have one more mission for today. Naruto, Sakura, and Hikari were ready. Hours later. The mission was absolutely horrible. Poor Naruto got dragged through the field by a dog. Naruto was being carried by Sakura and Gensuki. Gensuki sighed, sorry Naruto. After that Kushina had to leave to report about the mission. But she noticed a bird in the sky and knew what it meant. Inosuke spoke, I'm going to Ichiraku's. Naruto quickly yelled, Aniki. I want to go too. Inosuke smiled, okay. Let's go. Sakura and Hikari followed them. Mission reception. Iruka smiled, thank you Kushina-sama for your latest report. He then asked, how's Naruto? Kushina smiled back, he's fine. Though Naru-chan does miss your visits Iruka. Iruka chuckled and spoke, I've been so busy with the new students I haven't had time to see him. Kushina spoke, my dear Sachi is growing stronger with each day. Her voice was full of pride and affection. Iruka nodded, truly proud of the boy he cared for like a son. Ichiraku. AM hugged Naruto, happy to see him, Naruto-kun. Naruto grinned, hey AM-chan. Sakura clenched her fists. Inosuke then placed his order. Gucci chuckled and asked the other what they would want, so they told him. After they ate their ramen with Sakura and AM death glaring each other, the team thanked Tucci and left. Around the village. Naruto was walking, but he sensed 3 chakra signatures. Naruto noticed a square rock following him. Naruto shook his head, does Konohamaru really think he's fooling anyone? Naruto then seemingly ignored the rock, but then Naruto turned and pointed at the rock, Konohamaru. Rocks are all shapes but square. The rock lifted to reveal 3 children. One was a little boy with spiky hair and goggles, he wore a yellow shirt and grey pants, his scarf was long. The other boy looked sickly with a runny nose, even the other was a little girl with her dark brown hair tied in a weird upper style. Their names were Yuden and Mogi. Konohamaru spoke, just what I'd expect from my biggest rival. Konohamaru asked, Oyadama, you were supposed to play ninja with us today. Sakura came up and asked, Naruto-kun. You're a ninja, so why would you be playing ninja? Konohamaru grinned knowingly, hey Oyadama. Who's she, your girlfriend? Naruto blushed, not yet. Sakura giggled and wrapped her arms around Naruto, hope to be soon Naru-kun. She purred his name sultrily. Naruto turned bright red. Mission reception. Kushina narrowed her eyes, Sakura is after my Sachi again. Her Shinko Sharingan appeared for a minute before reverting back to her grey eyes. Village square. Konohamaru then said, but Oyadama, she has a weird hair color. Sakura then spoke, Naruto-kun, may I kill him? Naruto was paying attention to a butterfly, ooh. Pretty. Sakura taking his silence as a yes drew her sword, get ready. Konohamaru gulped and made a run for it, along with his friend Sakura, then ran after them. Naruto decided to run after them to make sure Sakura didn't hurt Konohamaru too bad. But then Konohamaru bumped into someone, oof. He landed on his bottom and rubbed his head. The boy looked up to see 2 people standing there. The boy wore an all-black jumpsuit with cat ears, he had war paint on his face in a strange pattern. A giant bandaged object was on his back. The girl had sandy blonde hair tied in 4 ponytails, her eyes a pale green, she wore a pinkish lavender shirt and skirt. A giant metal fan was on her back. The boy spoke, that looked like it hurt. He then lifted the boy by his shirt, choking him. The girl protested, Kankuro, what are you doing? The boy now named Kankuro told her, what do you think, Tamari? I'm going to teach this brat a lesson. Naruto growled, hey, let him go, you team. Kankuro looked at him and sneered, get lost kid, this doesn't concern you. Naruto then spoke again, but in an angry tone, I said let him go. Kankuro had an evil look on his face. Hokage Tower. Soon all the Jonin had gathered. Sarutobi spoke, I assume that since I invited you here you should know what we will be discussing. Kushina asked, is it time? The Jonin chewing a senbon spoke, have you informed the daimyo yet? The other villages have already sent their genin into the village. Sarutobi breathed out some smoke, 1 week from now. One Jonin asked, isn't it too soon for this? Sarutobi explained, the Chunin exams will begin on July 1st, 7 days from now. Village square. Naruto spoke again angrily, I won't ask you again, put my friend down or else. Kankuro still had his evil sneer, you annoy me shrimp. You make me want to kill him. Tamari sighed and spoke, whatever, I won't be responsible for this. Mogi and Yuden shivered in fear. Naruto then disappeared, but then he nearly tripped on a chakra thread, however his third eye detected it in time, and he leapt over it. Naruto rushed at Kankuro, I'll kill you. But then a rock struck Kankuro in the hand. Kankuro groaned and dropped the boy. The boy spoke, sheesh Naruto, I can't leave you alone for 5 minutes without you getting into trouble. Soon the 2 outsider genin looked to see a young man with long flowing silver hair tied in a ponytail. He had crimson gold slitted eyes that looked feral. Purple red markings decorated his face. His nails looked more like claws. He wore a Jonin vest, white shirt, and white pants. He sat on the branch of a nearby tree. Sasuke was hiding ready to throw rocks of his own. Inosuke was tossing another rock in his hand, what are foreign genin doing in our village? Get lost. He then crushed the rock to dust, or else. Naruto looked at him, Aniki. The Kari squealed, Ginsuke-kun. Mogi had hearts in her eyes while staring at him. Temari blushed, whoa pretty hot. Tenkuro growled, great more annoyances. Hokage Tower. Sarutobi gazed at the 5 jonin in front of him, alright you 5 are the senseis of the new teams, are there any in your squads you recommend? He explained, before they can be considered they must have completed at least 8 missions. But to be truly competitive they probably should complete double the amount of missions. Iruka thought, it's too soon for any of them. They're not ready yet. Sarutobi spoke, Kushina you are up first. Kushina nodded and spoke, I am the primary sensei of Team 7. It consists of Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, and Niji Hikari. I Uzumaki Kushina recommend all 3 for the Chunin exams. Then Gensuke stepped up, this one though is actually a Kage Bushin. He spoke, secondary sensei of Team 7, like Kushina I Taisho Gensuke recommend our genin for the exams. Iruka was shocked, what? Kurenai went up next, I lead Team 8 which consists of Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburami Shino. I Yuhi Kurenai agree with my colleagues that my team is ready for the Chunin exam. Asuma went up, I train Team 10, it consists of Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, and Akimichi Choji. I Sarutobi Asuma am as sure as the others that my team is ready for the Chunin exams. Kakashi went last, I am the leader of Team 11 which includes Uchiha Sasuke, Uchiha Kahaku, and Sai Hot Aki Kakashi, recommend all of them for the Chunin exams. Kahaku's prediction came true, Ami died on their very first mission. She was replaced by Sai, an unknown ninja of Anbu rank. Iruka then called out, wait. Sarutobi spoke, yes Iruka. The Jonin looked at the Chunin. Iruka spoke, forgive me for speaking out of turn Hokage-sama, but please allow me to say something. Most of the students just named were my students at the academy. Iruka explained, I'm worried that it's too soon for them, though gifted they all are I believe they need more time to adjust to the ninja life and get ready. Kakashi spoke, I was 6 years younger than Naruto when I achieved the Chunin rank Iruka. Iruka growled, Naruto is nothing like you Kakashi. Kushina thought, and thank Kami my Sachi is not like him. Iruka yelled, are you trying to get them killed? You know how dangerous those exams are. Kushina stepped up, Iruka relax my Sachi can take lot more than mere exams. Iruka begged, please Kushina-sama. Naruto's too young to take them. Don't you care for your son? Kushina gave a dark look to Iruka, how dare you say that? I love him very much. My Sachi means more to me than my very life. She released a little Kai angered that Iruka would ask such a question. Gensuke then stepped up, relax Iruka-sensei, they like to complain about every detail, it would be fun to truly make them understand pain. He gave a small sadistic grin. Iruka freaked, what? Gensuke then smiled, just kidding sensei it was a joke, listen Naruto can handle himself, he was raised and trained by his mother Kushina, and us he's more than ready for the exam. Iruka spoke, but. Kurenai annoyed with the Chunin spoke up, Gensuke-kun could we end this? Gensuke explained, I know you view Naruto as a younger brother Iruka-sensei, but he's not a lit kid anymore, he's a full-fledged ninja under our wings. Iruka glares a little. Asuma thought, what a pest. He no longer had a problem with Gensuke after getting thrashed when he challenged him for Kurenai's heart and affections. Asuma sighed, Gensuke you truly are more than worthy of Kurenai. Flashback a month after graduation. Asuma was harassing Kurenai again, come on Kurenai I really like you. Kurenai sighed in frustration, I told you Asuma I love someone else. She then gasped when the 2 jonin came across the training grounds and saw Gensuke training with his sword. Kurenai saw him without a shirt on, his skin was a beautiful porcelain color, his muscles were lean and great looking despite his age, not a scar littered it except for on his arm. He did a few katas with his sword, each slice leaving a beautiful silver trail behind it. His stance showed he knew a lot of skills. After he was done the Inudayukai then sheathed his blade and stood there letting the breeze cool him down. Kurenai whispered, a deep blush on her face, Jin Gensuke-kun rated images went through the Ice Queen's mind, causing her to leak some blood from her nose. Kurenai thought, great I think I hang around Anko-chan too much. Asuma growled, damn him. I'll see just how good this guy is. Asuma then stormed up to Gensuke, hey you. Gensuke spoke without facing them, ah Sarutobi-san, Yuhi-san what can I do for you? Kurenai blushed deeper when he said her name. Asuma branded his trench knives, fight me. Gensuke sighed, I assume this has to do with Yuhi-san. Asuma nodded, yeah. I want her for myself. Kurenai snapped out of her blush and gave Asuma a glare, she wasn't a trophy damn it. Gensuke then finally faced them and opened his eyes to reveal gold-slitted eyes, yet they were more warm and inviting than a certain Sanin's. But they were showing disgust toward the Sandaime-san for his foolish words. Gensuke spoke, fine I will fight you but only because I wish to test you. Yuhi-san is a person with feelings not some possession. Kurenai felt her face heat up even more at his words. She felt her chest feeling very warm as her already huge feelings for the Daikai grew even more. She is in love with him. Kurenai is fully aware of his heritage, but she doesn't care, she loves him just the way he is. Asuma charged at Gensuke and aimed a slash with his knives. Take this. But he missed because Gensuke easily avoided it and the chakra portion as well. Gensuke then spoke, impressive but not good enough. He then had his hand on his own sword's hilt. He just rushed at Asuma, but seemed to pass right through him. Gensuke had his sword out in a horizontal slash arc. Asuma then suddenly fell to his knees as blood flowed from a deep gash in his stomach. Kurenai was shocked and amazed as she watched. Incredible, Gensuke-kun is so strong and fast. Asuma thought, what happened? His knives broke. Kurenai then walked up to Gensuke and then hugged him. Thank you, Gensuke-kun. I was so tired of that man always trying to get into my pants. Gensuke nodded, yes, men like that disgrace all us men. He then smiled at the red-eyed Kunoichi, so Yuhi-san, but then Kurenai kissed him right on the cheek. Kurenai then spoke, please Gensuke-kun, call me Kurenai-chan or even Nai-chan if you want to. Gensuke nodded, his face heated up in a blush. Kurenai giggled before using her shunshin to teleport to the hospital with Asuma. Although she can't stand the guy, Kurenai is not heartless. Flashback end. Asuma thought, you taught me a great deal that day, Gensuke. I remember not to bother Kurenai, especially since she's your third mate. Gensuke smiled, well, I have to go, Naruto, and Sakura had a run-in with some other genin. He then disappeared in a poof of smoke. Village square. Kankuro sneered, great, another bastard to bug me. He then yelled, get down here. Gensuke then vanished, leaving a swirl of wind behind. Then he reappeared right in front of them. Gensuke asked, will this do? Kankuro spoke, oh yeah. He then drew the object on his back and slammed it onto the ground. Damari was shocked, you're going to use Karasu for this? Gensuke narrowed his eyes, I see a puppeteer from the village of Sunagakure in Kei's no Kuni. He then sensed a demonic presence not as powerful as him, Naruto, Benihim or Kurana, but still noticeable. The Daikai realized, the Ichibi if I'm not mistaken. Will the redhead hiding in the tree please come out? You too, Sasuke. The other two along with their hidden teammate and Sasuke were shocked by his sensing ability. Soon a girl with long red hair and cold aquamarine eyes appeared in a swirl of sand. She stood upside down on the branch and wore a gothic outfit with a huge gourd strapped to her back. Her arms were crossed and her eyes had black rings around them like a tanuki's. The kanji for love was tattooed on her forehead in blood. Sasuke was shocked, I didn't even sense her. The girl spoke coldly, Kankuro. That's enough. You're a disgrace. Kankuro stuttered, Gaara. Gaara then released a frightening amount of kai, shut up or I'll kill you. Kankuro nodded, yeah, I was out of line. Damari nodded too, yeah, we're really sorry, Gaara. Gaara gazed at Gensuke, I apologize for my brother. She thought, he was capable of sensing me, and he hit Kankuro with a rock. He gives off a very strong aura, he's someone to watch out for. She began to vanish into sand again. She then reappeared in front of them. Gaara then turned her cold gaze on Naruto, this one has a strong power too. He is also one to watch out for. Something about the blonde told her she'd lose if she fought him even with Shukaku's help. Gensuke said, you've come for the Chunin exams, haven't you? Damari nodded and showed him their passports, that's right, we're here for the exams. Sakura was confused, exams? Naruto mentioned, Kachan told me about them, they apparently hold them to test the skills of each of us genin. But in actuality they are keeping the balance of power between each village. Damari spoke, it's nice to see at least some Konoha genin know about them. Gensuke then asked, what's your name? Damari blushed, huh? You mean me? Gensuke smiled at her, yes, you and the redhead beside you. Damari blushed more, I'm Sabaku no Tamari. Gaara spoke, Sabaku no Gaara at your service. I am also interested to know your names. Gensuke introduced himself, I'm Taisho Gensuke. Naruto grinned, Uzumaki Naruto. Future Hokage-sama at your service. Sasuke was about to introduce himself, but he was just ignored. Gaara told Naruto, I hope to see you in the exams, Uzumaki Naruto. She then turned and disappeared with a swirl of sand. Tamari winked at Gensuke before going after her. Kankuro was shocked by his sister's actions, dumbfounded, he followed them. Gensuke spoke, well, things are getting interesting. Naruto nodded, yeah. Hikari was fuming about the Suna Kunoichi. Just then Gensuke narrowed his eyes and then released a wave of bloodlust at the tree in front of them. Several birds scattered in fright. Naruto looked at him, Aniki. Gensuke then spoke, it's nothing, Naruto, come on. He then turned and walked away. Hikari of course went with him. Sakura and Naruto soon followed. In the tree, three mysterious shinobi are trying to get their bearings back from the intense bloodlust aimed at them. The leader, a boy whose head except for one eye was wrapped in bandages, spoke with visible fear, the silver-haired one is to be avoided at all costs. His equally frightened teammates agreed. Training ground. The girl was flipping a kunai, several kunai and shuriken decorated the ground from their training. Her teammate, a boy, spoke, "Hey. Did you hear? In this year's Chunin exam all the rookies are allowed to compete." The girl spoke, "No way. It's probably because of the rivalries among the jonin." The boy then told his teammates, "I hear 3 of them are in the cell trained by 2 senseis. One is Uzumaki Kushina." The girl got excited, the Shinku Aojo of Konohagakure. The only kunoichi capable of fighting the Yondaime. Another boy spoke, "Interesting." The girl threw another kunai, "Well, either way." The kunai landed on the target, the 3 are fully revealed. The girl is dressed in a Chinese shirt with black pants. Her eyes are a chocolate brown and her hair is tied in 2 buns. The first boy looked weird with a bowl-cut green jumpsuit and orange leg warmers. His eyes were more wide than the other ninja in the village. He also wore bandages on his hands. The third was a Hyuga. He displays the typical Hyuga arrogance and sense of superiority. His long brown hair was tied at the end. He wore a lavender jacket and dark shorts with a bandage on one leg. The Hyuga boy finished, "This will be fun." Next morning. Team 7 all met for a surprise. Ensuke spoke, "Well, Kushina and I have recommended you 3 for the Chunin exams." Kushina then handed out the applications. Gensuke took one too. He wasn't even wearing his Jonin vest today, he had sealed it in a scroll. He was wearing a white shirt, white pants and small shoes. His headband was on his right arm. Naruto then hugged his mother, "Thank you Ka-chan, I love you." Kushina was turning pink, "You're welcome Naru-chan." Inside she was cheering, "Yes. Sachi's hugging me." Much to Kushina's dismay her son let go. Kushina cursed in her mind, "Kuzo. That hug was nice." Soon she received 4 applications. Kushina spoke, "Remember to head to room 301 at the academy tomorrow." She vanished in a swirl of water. Naruto, Gensuke, Hikari and Sakura all talked about how they be the first 4-man cell to enter the exams, even though Gensuke is actually the second sensei. Next day. The team met at the academy. They headed in. When they heard voices. The boy with a strange outfit and bowl cut got smacked in the face and sent to the ground. His teammate, a girl wearing a Chinese shirt and with her hair in buns, ran up to him worried. She then looked to the 2 guarding the door. She pleaded, "Please let us in." The boy with spiky hair spoke, "We kings like you are actually planning to enter the Chunin exams. Losers." His long-haired companion agreed, "You said it." The girl then walked up to him only to get struck across the face and sent to the ground herself. One other genin spoke, "Such bullies." The spiky-haired one looked at him, "What? No, you misunderstood me. We're just trying to help you." He explained, "The Chunin exams are dangerous and we should know, we failed 3 times already. The people that do make it are never the same way again." The other candidates were losing their nerve. The boy then said, "Besides that. Chunin are leaders, the responsibilities of missions and dead teammates rest on their shoulders." He sneered at them, "And you little children have the gall to actually try. We're saving you by weeding out the losers beforehand." But Sasuke and his team walked up and Sasuke just had to be an ass and comment. Kahaku annoyed slapped him on the back of the head. Ensuke slapped his forehead, "That moron, we could have gotten rid of so much competition." The long-haired boy spoke, "You noticed it, huh?" The spiky-haired boy smirked, "Not bad." However, he then rushed at Sasuke, "Just seeing through it isn't enough." He and Sasuke were about to go at it, but then the green boy appeared and blocked both their strikes. Naruto was shocked, "No. Way, he's almost as fast as Aniki." Ensuke was thinking the same thing, "His speed is near my own." Hikari thought, "He's fast." He managed to block both the emo's kick and that strange boy's kick. Soon another boy walked up, his eyes showed he was a Hyuga. He spoke, "Hey, so what happened to the plan? You were the one who suggested we should hold back." Lee turned to Sakura, "Yeah." He then blushed. The girl shook her head, "Oh boy, not again." Ensuke narrowed his eyes, His bruises are gone." Which means he was trained to handle getting beat up. Lee then spoke, "You're Sakura, right?" He gave a nice guy pose and his teeth shined, "Please go out with me. I'll protect you with my life." Sakura was flattered by his offer, but she was in love with someone already. She then spoke, "Sorry, I'm taken." Lee was shocked, "By who?" Sakura hugged Naruto, "Naruto-kun here." Lee gave Naruto a look over, then looked depressed, "Oh." The Hyuga asked Gensuke, "Hey you. What's your name?" Sasuke was angry that he was ignored again. Gensuke gazed at him impassively, "Tch. You should introduce yourself before demanding someone else's name." "He's stealing my thunder," was Sasuke's emo thought. The Hyuga glared at him, "What was that?" The two gave each other a cold stare before scoffing and turned away from each other. The girl, Tenten, was eyeing Gensuke, cute and cool. Outside, the two from before were looking at the scene. The long-haired one spoke, so those are Gensuke's guys and Kushina's Gakuse. Well, at least they managed to pass. The spiky-haired one nodded, yup. Then in a poof of smoke they became older and taller. The spiky-haired one continued, looks like this year will be fun. The long-haired one spoke, yeah, a little perk for being the proctors. Back inside the hallway, Hikari spoke, Gensuke-kun, Naruto, let's get going. She then grasped their hands and skipped off. Sakura grasped Naruto's other hand. Lee watched them leave. Denton spoke, Lee, let's go. Lee turned to look at them, you two go on ahead, there's something I wish to test. Team 7 was walking, but then Lee called out, hey you. Yes, you with the attitude. Stop. Gensuke and then others stopped and looked up to see Lee on the balcony. Gensuke spoke, what is it? The older genin looked serious, let's fight here, you and me. Gensuke was surprised, you want to fight me? Right now? Little did Team 7 know that Sasuke was right behind them. Once he got there, he activated his Sharingan to see what moves he could copy. Lee nodded, yes. He jumped down and got into a battle position. Gensuke raised an eyebrow, Aniki, let me take care of him. Naruto went up. Lee glanced at Naruto and spoke, very well, Naruto-kun. I have to fight you for the beautiful Sakura-chan anyways. Naruto then lowered into the Uchiha intercepting style, let's do it, fuzzy eyebrows. His blue eyes blazed red with 4 tomo in them. Lee spoke, what an honor to face the legendary Sharingan. He then rushed at Naruto and delivered some swift blows. But using his Sharingan, Naruto easily avoided and countered each blow. Lee groaned and then landed perfectly, ugh. The Sharingan truly is formidable. Lee then rushed at Naruto at full speed. Naruto was stunned, no way. I can barely track him with my Sharingan. But then Lee swung his leg in a low sweeping kick, Konoha whirlwind. Naruto was shocked as he was sent flying by the kick into the wall. Gensuke was stunned, no way. Sakura cried out, Naruto-kun. She ran to his side. Naruto was out cold. Sakura looked at Lee. He's pretty strong. Naruto-kun. Sasuke smirked, serves the dope right. It is useless to fight against me. I will destroy you. I am the best junior ninja in Konohagakure. Lee declared, getting into the Genken stance. Gensuke smirked, fine, then I accept your challenge. Let's do this. Hikari looked at the clock, Gensuke-kun. There's no time. We have to submit our applications in less than half an hour. Gensuke rushed Lee, this'll take 5 minutes. Hikari squealed, Gensuke-kun. Lee watched, forgive me Guy-sensei, I may need to break the big rule, I might have to use that move. Lee vanished in a blur, he then attacked, Konoha Hurricane. Gensuke avoided it. But the kick was a feint. As Gensuke avoided it, Lee's leg came at him. Gensuke was shocked, no time to duck again. Must block. Lee raised one hand in a half seal, and his leg came fast. Gensuke was stunned, what? Lee's kick connected. Gensuke fell to the ground. Hikari cried out, Gensuke-kun. Gensuke struggled to get up, how did he get through my guard? Hikari was shocked, though Gensuke-kun blocked that. Gensuke stood up, alright, now I think I'll show some of my true skill. But Lee appeared in front of him and kicked him upward. Gensuke was flying through the air. Then Lee crouched before vanishing. Gensuke was shocked as Lee appeared behind him, shadowing him. Sasuke smirked, memorizing the taijutsu moves with his Sharingan, haha, thanks a lot Gensuke, you've given me some new moves to learn. Gensuke figured it out, oh, Leaf Shadow Dance. This means no. Who made him a Jonin sensei? Naruto woke up and grabbed his head, ugh, what happened? He looked up. Aniki. Lee's bandages unwrapped from his hands, now Gensuke, if you are a born prodigy, then I am a prodigy of hard work. Let me show you that hard work beats natural talent. But then a pinwheel struck, pinning Lee's bandages to the wall. The voice spoke up, that's enough, Lee. Sakura, Naruto, and Hikari looked to see a large red turtle wearing a Konoha headband. Gensuke noticed and then did a flip before landing on the ground. Lee landed as well and bowed to the turtle in shame. Hikari ran over to him concerned, Gensuke-kun. She knelt down beside him. Are you okay? Gensuke was so shocked by Lee's skill that he was trembling. Hikari was deeply concerned, oh Gensuke-kun. Naruto looked at him, Aniki got beaten. Fuzzy brows knocks me out and I miss all the good parts. Lee spoke, you saw. The turtle chewed Lee out. Lee. You know the rules. That move is forbidden. Lee bowed further, please forgive me, I was only. Naruto was shocked, what's with the turtle? He's getting chewed out. I wonder if the turtle is. Naruto slapped his left fist in his right palm in the aha fashion, fuzzy brows sensei. Hikari and Gensuke are a little weirded out at the sight of a turtle chewing a person out. Lee tries to protest. Naruto comes over, hey. Hikari. Aniki, they both turned to see Naruto. Hikari asked, what? Naruto pointed, isn't it a turtle? The Kari looked at Naruto like he was stupid, obliviously. Naruto asked, so can turtles be senseis? The Kari was irritated, don't ask stupid questions. The turtle yelled, you fool. Lee flinched at the tone. You think I care about your feeble excuses? Consider the repercussions of a shinobi showing off his secrets. Lee said in shame, why yes sir. The turtle asked, are you prepared for the repercussions of your actions? Lee bowed, why yes sir. The turtle said, then come out guy sensei. There was a poof of smoke. The man who looks like an older version of Lee was standing on top of the turtle. The man spoke, hey kids. You're showing that your flames of youth burn brightly. Naruto, Gensuke, Sakura and Hikari all freak at the sight of him. The Kari shivers, his eyebrows are huge. Naruto added, they're almost alive. And the dog do. I've never seen anything like it. Lee turned and yelled, how dare you make fun of Guy sensei. Naruto yelled back, shut up. I don't know what to make of all the freaks showing up here. Lee got more angry, what? I spoke Lee. Lee turned to him, yes sir. I punched him in the face, you idiot. He then knelt down with tears flowing, you. Lee looked up with tears also, Guy sensei. The two then hugged. And a strange thing happened to the background. It became a sunset with an ocean. It burns. The horror. Team 7 was flipping out. Even Sasuke turned off his Sharingan and quickly ran off to catch up to his teammates. Naruto was trying to dispel it with his Sharingan, what is this? A genjutsu? Gensuke shivered, yeah he hasn't changed a bit. My kami. This is the dreaded sunset genjutsu. Sakura and Hikari were covering their eyes. Soon the horrible thing was over. I spoke to Lee, it's okay you're still young. It's okay to make mistakes. Lee looked at Guy sensei. You are too kind. I explained, however Lee I cannot allow your actions to go unpunished. 500 laps around the village after the Chunin exams. Lee saluted sir. I then turned his gaze on Team 7, so those genin must be Kushina's and Gensuke's. When he noticed Gensuke, what? How did Gensuke manage to enter the exams when he's already a jonin? I asked, tell me how is Kushina-sama? Naruto was shocked, you know Kachan. I chuckled, do I know her? Team 7 watched as Guy suddenly vanished. The team turned to see Guy right behind them. The beautiful green beast told them, I should say so. I, and Kakashi are rivals. Guy explained, Kushina-sama and I are tied at 50 wins against Kakashi. Our fighting score is 50 wins for her and losses for me. Kushina-sama is stronger than me. Gensuke shook his head with a chuckle, he is faster than Kushina. I spoke, please forgive my youthful pupil Lee. I then threw a kunai and unpinned Lee's bandages, you should take Lee and head to the classroom. As Lee began to rewrap his hands. Naruto noticed how beat up his hands were. Gia wished them luck before vanishing. Lee then spoke, Gensuke about earlier I lied when I said I was the best junior ninja, that title belongs to a member of my own team. I will take him down. He gave Gensuke a warning, that's why I entered these exams. You are a target now too. Lee hopped away, be ready for our next match. The Kari spoke, Gensuke-kun. Naruto put his hands behind his head, and Nikki what was that crap? He made you look like a total rookie. Sakura was surprised, Naruto-kun. Gensuke clenched his fists. Naruto decided to tease him, I guess you're not as strong as you though eh? The Kari yelled, Naruto. Gensuke growled, quiet Naruto next time he's toast. Naruto snorted, despite getting beaten this time around right. The Kari yelled again, shut up Naruto. Naruto spoke, you saw his hands right. Gensuke was shocked. Naruto continued, I'm sure fuzzy brows get some kind of special training each day you're done for a Nikki. The Kari looked at Gensuke with concern, Gensuke-kun. Gensuke calmed himself before looking up with a smirk, interesting. These Chunin exams are getting exciting. Naruto grinned, yeah. The Kari smiled, yep. Sakura punched the air, Shanro. We're the best. Gensuke took the lead, Naruto. Hikari. Sakura. Let's go. The three replied back, yeah. They soon left and made it to the classroom where Kushina was waiting for them. She smiled, I'm happy to see you came Sakura-chan. This way you all qualify for the exams. Kushina explained about their qualifications. She then walked over and hugged Naruto to her, please Naru-chan be careful in there. Naruto looked up at his mother, don't worry Ka-chan. I'll do my best. Kushina knelt down and kissed him on the forehead, I'll be rooting for you Naru-chan. She then stood up and backed away granting them access. The four entered the classroom only to be shocked as there were several other ninja there. Naruto stuttered, what is? Sakura finished, what is this? There were several other ninja there. Sakura thought, so many people are they all here to apply? Just then a girl cried out, Sasuke-kun. Gensuke turned to see Sasuke annoyed by Ino jumping onto him. The young Uchiha's eye was twitching. Sakura rolled her eyes, tch. Ino Buta, she's pathetic. Ino annoyed looked to see Sakura, well if it isn't forehead girl. Still in love with the dobe. Ino pulled down her eyelid and stuck her tongue out. Sakura growled and raised a fist, don't call my Naruto-kun that Ino Buta. Ino just repeated her earlier action. The Haku glomp Naruto-kun. Sakura turned to see the Uchiha girl hugging Naruto. The Haruno heiress raised a fist, Shanro. Kahaku. Let go of my Naruto-kun. The Haku stuck her tongue out at Sakura, no. He's mine. Sakura growled, no Naruto-kun is mine. Soon a lazy genius and a big bone boy came up. The lazy genius Nara Shikamaru spoke, so you guys are taking this troublesome exam, eh? Naruto grinned, well if it isn't the Three Stooges. Shikamaru frowned, don't call us that. Toji didn't answer, he was too engrossed in his chips. The loud voice spoke out, Yahoo! So the rookies are together again. Kiba, Hinata and Shino walked up. Hinata blushed at Naruto, hi. Kiba spoke, it looks like the gang's all here. Shikamaru frowned deeper, including you unfortunately. Kiba grinned arrogantly, so I guess all of this year's rookie teams applied for the exams. I wonder how far we'll get Gensuki. Gensuki smirked, tch. Trying to act cool Kiba. Kiba spoke with arrogance, please with the way we've trained you have no chance against us. Naruto yelled, oh shut up Kiba. You won't even beat me much less a Nikki. Hinata apologized, I'm sorry Naruto-kun Kiba didn't mean it. Akamaru barked to Gensuki, please Gensuki-sama forgive Kiba for his arrogance. Soon older boy said, would you guys do us all a favor and shut up? The teams turned to see an older boy with silver hair and a ponytail, glasses, and wearing a purple outfit. He continued, you people are the new Genin teams right? Kids straight out of the academy. This isn't a school field trip you know. Ino frowned, who the hell do you think you are? The boy smirked, I'm Kabuto Yakushi Kabuto. You need to open your eyes. He pointed behind them. Sakura asked, why? They turned to see a group of genin from Omegakure, the hidden rain village, glaring at them intently. Kabuto explained, those genin are from Omegakure and are known to have short tempers. Sakura and Naruto showed visible fear. Gensuki scoffed, they call that Kai killing intent, I'll show them how it's really done. Gensuki then released a small sample of his Kai at them. Just that small sample was enough to overpower the pathetic Kai of those AIM genin and frighten them. Sasuke shivered at the Kai, how can he have this power? I deserve it me. The Omegakure genin instantly stopped their glaring and looked away in sheer terror. Kabuto felt like his heart was going to explode, such murderous intent. Even Orochimaru-sama would fear this man. But it's unavoidable. I remember what it was like. Sakura asked, Kabuto. You've taken the exam before. Kabuto smiled and nodded, yes in fact this is my 7th try. Sakura was awestruck, wow. So that means you know what to expect in this exam. Kabuto smiled sheepishly, yeah I guess so. Naruto cheered, Kabuto you rock. Kabuto chuckled and revealed some cards, cute. Okay the least I can do is give you rookies some vital information on what you're in for with these shinobi skill cards. Sakura was surprised, shinobi skill cards. Kabuto explained, to put it simply they contain information about our skills. Shown in symbols when I put my chakra through them, it took me 4 years to collect all the intelligence needed for this exam. In all there are about 200 cards. Kabuto drew a card, it was blank. He smiled, it looks blank doesn't it? The only way to read the data on the cards. Kabuto moved the card around with his finger. Toji asked, what's he doing? Kabuto placed his hand in the rat seal, is by using my own chakra. Each card set is linked to its possessor. Soon a map of the elemental countries appeared on the card. Kabuto explained, this card shows how many applicants each shinobi nation sent to the exam. Gensuki asked, do you have dossier cards? Cards for each individual applicant? Kabuto chuckled, why? You have someone you have an interest in? Gensuki nodded. Yes, Sabaku no Gaara from Sunagakure and Rock Lee from Konohagakure. Kiba yelled, I want to see Gensuki's stats. Gensuki glared at him. I want to see the Dobe's stats. Sasuke spoke up. Naruto raised his fist, Sasuke. Kabuto spoke, you know their names. No sweat. Kabuto draws 2 cards and sends chakra through. Naruto was confused, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but I'll play along. Gensuki spoke, let me see them. Kabuto showed him, first up is Rock Lee. He's a year older than your teammates. He's completed 20 D rank and 11 C rank missions. His Jonin instructor is Mido Guy. His Taijutsu is very strong but has no other talents. Teammates are Tenten and Hyuga. Like you guys, this is his first time in the exam. Kabuto then changed the card to show Gaara, now for Sabaku no Gaara, she has completed 8 C rank and wow. 1 B rank. Not many genin get B ranks. Here's the really shocking thing, she's come from each mission unscathed. Densuke narrowed his eyes at the red-haired Tsunade Jinchuriki. I see. Well, Shukaku is known for that impenetrable defense of hers. Obito then changed the card to show Gensuke's stats, until Gensuke sliced it in half with his sword, the destroyed card floated to the ground. The Daikai Jonin spoke coldly, I'd prefer not to have my secrets known. The other genin were so shocked to see the white-haired young man suddenly seemingly materialize a very sharp-looking sword in one hand. Denton's eyes sparkled at the sight of the beautiful blade. She was a weapons fanatic. The Kai Gensuke was releasing was strong enough to bring all the genin to their knees. Inside Gaara, Shukaku was quivering and whispered, he'll kill us all. Gaara was actually shaking in fear. If mother was afraid, she'd be foolish not to be afraid as well. Densuke then sheathed his blade. Obito was shaken by the enormous Kai, but recovered having faced Orochimaru's. He explained, Konoha, Suna, Aim, Kusa, Taki, and Odo. Each village this year has sent the best rookie ninja to this exam. I don't know much about Itagakure, the hidden sound village. It's a recently created village, so intelligence on it is lacking. But every other village has very formidable shinobi competing. Hinata asked, anyone else besides me feeling outclassed? Sakura spoke, so what you're trying to say is everyone else here? Obito nodded, yes, they're like Lee, Gaara, and Gensuke there. Hand-picked elite rookies. They have to be. The test is pitiless. Outside the door, Kushina was remembering what Iruka said to her. Kushina looked back at the door, I know that Gensuke will be okay, but Naru-chan, Sakura-chan, and Hikari-chan must shaking in their boots. Sakura noticed Naruto quivering, I've never once seen Naruto-kun scared. But I can't blame him. We're all genin here except for Gensuke, he's actually our second sensei. The Haruno heiress clenched her fists, still it's not like him. I'll talk to him. Sakura reached out, it's okay Naruto-kun. Nothing to be scared of. Naruto suddenly shouted out while pointing, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. And I'll crush you all. You got that? Outside the door, Kushina kept silent but inwardly laughed at her son's overconfidence. Ino yelled, what the hell's his problem? Sakura showed irritation, Naruto-kun. Well, Sakura does love Naruto very much, there are times when she believes he takes his confidence too far. Naruto grinned, yeah. That was great. I feel better now. Densuke just shook his head, oh boy. The group turned their stern gaze on the long-haired boy and the others. Gaara gazed calmly at Naruto. Tenkuro thought, hey, it's that runt we met earlier. Neji smirked, huh. He's a lively one. Lee, you went too easy on him. The spiky-haired genin in the back wearing a headband with a note on it said, according to his dossier, our town's an unknown village in a backwater country. His teammate said, I know, mortifying isn't it? So want to have some fun with them? A ninja was revealed wearing bandages over his entire head and face, except for one eye, sounds good. That twit treating us like some afterthought. Let's give him some data for his dossier. His understanding of the hidden sound village is unsound. We'll see where the intelligence is lacking. Naruto was feeling pretty proud of himself. Kiba spoke, what was that? You have some nerve. Shikamaru spoke, how troublesome, thanks to that one sentence everybody in this room is an enemy. Thanks a lot, you idiot. Sakura grabbed Naruto in a chokehold, what are you doing Naruto-kun, you baka? Naruto protested, I'm telling the truth. The group seemed to get angrier. Sakura gulped and said, pay no attention to my teammate. He's a special ed ninja. Densuke suddenly narrowed his eyes at the back, and they're planning something. A strange ninja from before suddenly make their move. They weaved in and out of the group heading for Kabuto. Kabuto senses them coming and looks up to see a genin from Itagakure in the air. He drew some kunai and threw them at Kabuto. Luckily Kabuto jumped back. But then the mummy-like ninja appeared in front of him with a strange device on his arm. Densuke took action and vanished with his sword drawn. There was a clang as his sword struck the device. The Odo genin saw him and instantly became afraid, recognizing him. Densuke held his sword in front of him. He caught the Odo genin in his frightening gaze. His pupils shrunk into slits and his eyes turned crimson red. All of them fell to the ground in terror, shaking. Densuke told them, when you attack one ninja from Konoha, you deal with us all. His Kai smothered theirs and placed frightening and gruesome images in their minds. Soon he ceased with his Kai output, sheathed his sword and walked back to his team. But then a poof of smoke appeared as a voice said, all right you little bastards, listen up. The smoke vanished to reveal a tall, scary-looking man bearing several scars along with several other ninja. He smirked to them, I'm Marino Ibiki, your proctor for the first exam, and for this moment your greatest enemy. Ibiki pointed to the Odo genin, you sound ninja. Do you want to be disqualified before the test even starts? Ibiki informs them of the rules before holding up a paper with a number on it. It's a written test. After everyone was seated, Gensuke is sitting in the middle row. Sakura's in the back row. Hikari is in the front row and Naruto is in the fourth row. Naruto is sitting next to Hinata. The Hyuga heiress is trying not to faint being so close to him. Ibiki then goes on to explains the rules of the test to them. He then informs them that they have an hour to finish the 9 questions and the 10th question wouldn't come until 45 minutes into the exam. And Suki looked at Naruto, poor Naruto. He was never good with paper tests. He uses his 6,000 years of knowledge to easily answer his test. He finishes early. Sakura uses her brain to also figure out the questions. But poor Naruto is so scared he doesn't know what to do. Now the others have figured it out and are planning their attacks. Kiba uses Akamaru who quietly barks him the answers. Shino has his beetles who fly around gathering the answers for him. Denton uses mirrors and wires to send Lee the answers. Ino took over Sakura using her mind jutsu to memorize the answers. Sasuke and Kahaku activate their Sharingan, while Hinata and Neji use their Byakugan to find their answers. The Oto Genin use some kind of sound ability. Ara creates an eyeball of sand she calls the Daisen no Mi. Naruto realizes you have to cheat without getting caught. He then looks around before opening and using his own third eye. His unique Juubi eye to look around for the answers. He found them from the person in front of him and wrote them down. The 45 minutes are almost up. The proctors caught a few teams and disqualified them. Then Kuro had to use the restroom where it was revealed that the extra proctor was in fact his puppet Karasu. 13 teams had been disqualified and now it was time for the 10th question. Ibiki revealed one more rule to the shocked Genin. Meanwhile, the Jonin Kakashi, Kurenai, Kushina and Asuma have gathered at a hangout called Jinsei or Waro. Kakashi sighed, well with our subordinates in the exams. We've got a lot of time on our hands. Asuma informs him don't worry. Kakashi will be busy again before you know it. Asuma took a drag from his lit cigarette. Kakashi looked surprised, why's that? Asuma said, word is the first proctor this year is Marino Ibiki. Kushina was shocked, that sadist. They let him apply as a proctor. Kurenai looked to the red-haired woman, sadist. Asuma chuckles, that's right Kurenai you're a rookie Jonin. Kurenai looks serious, what's he like? Asuma explained, he's a pro's pro. Kurenai looked to him, a pro in what? Kushina spoke, torture and interrogation. Asuma took a drag, Kushina-sama's right. Ibiki won't use physical torture in the exams, but he will use psychological torture, which can more often than not cause even more damage. Back in the classroom. Ibiki asked the Genin if any of them wish to accept or reject the 10th question. If they accept it and get it wrong they are banned from the Chunin exams for life. Naruto and the others are stunned. Everyone is getting nervous. Do they take it or pass? Sakura watches Naruto struggle, Naruto-kun why wouldn't you raise your hand? I know your dream is to be Hokage. But I don't want it to be taken from you forever. Sakura starts to raise her hand only to freeze as Naruto's arm slowly starts to rise. Everyone who knew him were shocked to see his hand rising. Poor Hinata felt like her world was crashing down on her. But then Naruto slammed his hand on the desk, Erg. Never underestimate me. I don't quit and I won't run. I'll accept your stupid question. Even if I end up a Genin my whole life. I'll still become Hokage, even if by pure stubbornness. And Suki shakes his head, heh. I do admire your guts Naruto. Sakura blushed, Naruto-kun. You may be a baka, but you're my baka. Ibiki asked, is that your final decision? You can still quit now. Naruto smirked, I never go back on my word that's my ninja way. Ibiki gazed around, 78 of them are still here the kid dispelled their fears along with his own. He turned his gaze on the other proctors who nodded with smiles. No use dragging this out thanks to him no one else will quit. Ibiki announced, good call. Everyone who is still here you all passed the first exam. Hun. Was everyone's reactions. Ibiki then explains to them how the first test was designed to test their spying skills. Of course Naruto tries to show off making Kahaku and Hinata giggle. And Suki just shakes his head. Ibiki showed everyone his scarred and bald head. He had been tortured big time. Only Ginsuke who had lived around 6,500 years had seen worse on his own friends. Ibiki then sensed something coming this way. And Suki smelled the scent of dango and snakes, damn it not her. The black ball burst into the room. Then kunai shot from the ball to reveal it was a banner. Ibiki sighed, oh brother she's early again. A beautiful woman with lavender hair and a ponytail similar to Iruka's appeared. Her eyes were a misty brown. She wore a fishnet brown trench coat and skirt. The boys took notice of her state of dress and a few of them had nosebleeds. The banner read 2nd Proctor Mitarashi Anko. The woman yelled out, none of you gakas are in any position to celebrate. I'm the proctor for the second half of the Chunin exams Mitarashi Anko. Now follow me. But no one did they just sat there completely shocked. And Suki was trying to hide. Ibiki peeled back the banner a bit and spoke, "Anko, you're early again." Anko blushed. Sakura sweat dropped, "She reminds me of Naruto-kun." Anko took notice of how many was left, there are still 78 of them. Ibiki, you passed 26 teams. When Anko caught sight of Gensuke, she got excited, "Gensuke-kun's here. I'll make you mine soon." Anko looked at Ibiki, "You went too easy on them." Ibiki shook his head, "No, this year's applicants are exceptional." Anko scoffs, "Yeah right. I'll cut the number down by half before the next test is done." Sakura shivered, "Cut us in half." Anko gained a sadistic smirk, "Ooh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. I'll explain the details tomorrow when we move to our next location. Meet me in front of the gate of training grounds number 44 first thing in the morning." So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys, let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video, bye bye.